press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello students, we are going to continue with the lesson business and industry. Now we had studied till now the meaning, okay, the definitions, the different kinds of trades and the different kind of industries. We had studied primary industries in the previous class. Today we will focus on secondary industry and we will move on to understand certain difficulties that are there. So, secondary industry. We had studied a division that was there with primary industry and secondary industry. So, today we are going to focus on secondary industry. We learned that secondary industry is divided into manufacturing and constructive. Now, before we understand this, let's understand they are labor oriented. Labor oriented meaning where there is work, where people are working. That is labor oriented. Now, they are divided into two. Manufacturing and constructive. Manufacturing and constructive. Now we'll understand manufacturing first and then go to constructive. So manufacturing. Now, these manufacturing, see the word manufacturing, you are doing something, you are producing something. So, what are you doing? Here, they are converting raw materials or semi-finished goods products into finished products. We'll understand that. Into finished So what are they doing? They are converting raw materials, that is now sugarcane is a raw material. They are making sugar out of it, that is the finished product that is there. Or they are converting raw materials or semi-finished, something that is half done, something that they have not finished fully, they convert into a full product, that is a finished product. Now they supply these finished goods to the consumers. Finished products or finished goods to its consumers. Okay. Example is sugarcane to sugar, okay, iron to steel, iron ore to steel. Next is construction industries. Or constructive industries. Okay. Now they are engaged in constructing, they are making something, okay. What do they construct? Roads, buildings, canals, bridges, Now when they do that, they are helping in two things, that is transport and communication. Okay, they are helping in transport and communication. What are they constructing? They are constructing canals, roads, buildings, bridges. So if they are constructing bridges, they are constructing roads, railway tracks, okay, transport and communication is easier for us. So these are the two kinds of industries mentioned there. Let's move to the third one. Okay, that is cottage and small scale industries. You can take this as the third one. Cottage and small scale industries. Now their cottage industries are also called as household industries. Cottage industries also called as household industries. Now they make their products in their own houses. So make products in their own houses, okay, with the help of family members. The help of their family, they make their own products in their own houses, or they take the help of their family or apprentice. Okay, now this is people who want to learn something, people who want to understand that and train themselves, okay, they are called as apprentice. Now when they do their products, they sell it usually to the local market, sell it in the local markets. Because it's nearby, they sell it in the local markets. Examples are carpentry, weaving, making pots, okay, making statues with stones, stone carving, okay. So these are the places where they make their products. This is small cottage industry. Now let's understand small scale industry. Now the small scale industries are organized on a small scale. That is, they don't have large factories, okay, they don't have big factories, but small houses are used for these places. Okay, small place where small scale in a particular place, like shed. Okay, they make a small house or they make a small shed where they can make these products. Then they use electricity and few machines. Okay, they use electricity and few machines. Now there are people who are working there who are called as laborers. There are people who are working there who are called as laborers. And what do? They use modern techniques. Okay. Now, what kind of industries are there? Like chemical industries, chemical industry where they make slight chemicals. Okay. Then they make soaps, they make clothes. Okay, then fans. Okay, certain products, small products that you want are made in these small scale industries. Now let's understand what are the difficulties of business, making business, having trade or having an industry. Okay, now hindrances or difficulties, blockages. Now when we began the lesson, we studied, isn't it, that they need storage houses, they need transport facility, there is problem of money. So this is the same thing we are going to study a little deeper to understand. Okay. Now we'll understand difficulties one by one and we'll understand the solutions to it too. Alright. Now first one is transportation. Now, to send goods from one place to another, you need vehicles, you need transport, either through railways, either through road or either by air transport. Okay, you need some means so that you can send, isn't it? You need some way to send your products. Can you keep it in your storehouse and not send it to your customers? You have to send it. So there is a difficulty of transport. How I can send my goods from, that is, if I am owning a business, I am the producer or you are the producer. Now we as producers have to send our goods to whom? To our consumers or to our traders, and then the traders will send it. Okay, so there is a process that goes. But what is the basic thing? Our product should go from one place to another. Now different kinds of transports are used. Okay, road, railways, air, water. So by air, by water, by railways or by road you are sending your goods that are there. Now these means of transport help us to send our goods from one place to another, okay, from producers to traders, traders to consumers. Next is finance, money. Okay, financial services that are there. Now see, here in this, the problem was place, okay, give me a second. The problem was of place. You cannot store many things. Now just write it here, okay students, place. In this, so first problem was place, you don't have place, so you have to transportation. So this is the solution, this is a problem, okay, just add that point here. Now you have problem of money, of finance. So the solution is banks. Okay, I am writing the problem first, then the solution. In the first point, please add it. So here the next problem is money. So to help with money, now when you have to distribute your goods, to help with money, banks come forward or banks help. Why? How do these banks help? Money is needed, isn't it, to exchange the goods. Now if you want to buy anything from the shop, you have to pay money. So you are exchanging your goods. Now how do these banks help? They provide money, they provide loans so that the traders can run their business smoothly. Next one is, okay, you are having loss of goods. Who helps you? The insurance company. Okay, you have loss of goods, the insurance companies help you. Now how loss of goods? Maybe you are transporting your goods and it gets lost on the way, or if there is a fire, or if the truck falls down, okay, you have loss of goods. Sometimes when you have kept in your warehouse, that is storage house, the house may get burnt, okay, or somebody may be stealing it, we don't know, or things may be getting spoiled. If there is a chemicals, it may be leaking, so everything is getting spoiled. Now there is damage there, there is loss of your goods, you are losing them. To help or to make up for the loss of these goods, insurance companies help you if they are destructed or damaged by natural calamities, so that they can help in the smooth business that happens. Next problem is of time. Okay, so it is solved by storage. Now why time is a problem? See, this time is not having time to do something. Now understand this time in this way. See, you cannot produce only 10 packets and keep it, isn't it? You will have to keep on producing to send it to different places. So when in one place the product gets over, you will have to use the means of transport to send it. Now for that you need your money, isn't it? So that's how when you have to produce in excess, when you have to produce a lot, what you have to do? You have to store them and keep, because you can't do only 100 and send. You can produce 1000 packets and keep them, and whenever you need, send 100 of them. They don't send 100, they send more, but I am giving you an example. If you have made 1000 packets, keep those 1000 packets and send 100 to one place, send 100 to another place. Okay, so that's how these storage houses help. Now these storage houses or warehouses, they are called as warehouses. Okay, they have cold storage facilities. That is, if the products have to be stored in cold temperature, okay, in the like we store things in the fridge, okay, in the cold temperature, cold storage facilities are also given. Okay, cold storage facilities. Next problem is of knowledge. And what helps them? Advertisement. Okay. Now, okay. Knowledge. Now, what is knowledge? Now, if you and I are doing a product and we want people to know, people to have some knowledge, people to know about our product, what we should do? We should advertise it. So, for people to get some knowledge about your product, as to what is the use of your product, why the consumer should take your product, for that advertisements are helped. Now, advertisements are done in such a way that it may be put on TV, it may be put on other means of communication, okay, TVs, radios, your phones, and on streets, okay, posters are put. So, with these things, they help you know their product. When they also give you advertisement for various products. Now, if you want one shampoo, I gave you an example, one shampoo, and that's not available, they also suggest you certain alternatives, that is certain other options for making them. So, these are the problems and these are the solutions. Let's move on and understand ethics, okay, certain values that have to be followed while making business. Okay, moving on, business ethics. Certain rules and certain regulations, certain values that have to be followed. Now, business is not always making more profit, but there are some people who only want to make profit out of that. But main reason or main aim or main goal is to make little amount of money, little extra amount of money than what they have spent. Now, we have dealt with this in the previous class. Now, traders give it to consumers, they are buying it from wholesalers, wholesalers are buying it from the producers. So, all this is being discussed. The first paragraph is the repetition of what we had dealt it in the previous class. Now, there are certain ethical principles, certain values that you must follow while developing. Now, there are some people who want to make a lot of profit only. Their intention is not giving good goods, but simply selling them by giving artificial advertisements, by giving fake things so that they make profit. And this is happening somewhere. Now, some of the ways where people make profit is adulteration. Now, adulteration is mixing something which looks similar. I am telling you it very simple. mixing something. Now take turmeric powder, okay, your haldi powder. Now in the haldi powder, it looks yellow. We think it is whole turmeric powder, but there are chances of mixing other yellow color powder with it. Maybe your rangoli powder that is there, which is yellow in color. Now when I mix it, you don't understand what is mixed with what. Similarly with salt, they can mix anything with that same color which you will not be able to recognize, which you will not be able to understand. Now in the rice, have you seen stones? Now why is that put? For the weight to increase, okay, so that the weight increases and they can tell this is the weight. But there sometimes you find small stones that sometimes you find big stones that are there. So this is adulteration, mixing something that is very similar which you will not be able to recognize. Now charging excess, that is asking you to pay more. Charging more rates, okay. Now see a half liter of milk, okay, in the present if you must have gone to the shop to bring milk. Half liter of milk, there are different packets in that, isn't it? Let's take the blue packet. It costs 19 rupees, okay. The orange one costs 21 rupees. I don't know about the green packet, but blue one cost 19 and orange one cost 22, okay, half liter of milk. Now there are some people who take extra than this, than what is written, because they give reasons. I encountered a shop like that once, okay. 22 is written on the packet, which is they are supposed to take only 22. But the reasons given are, no, we buy it from somebody else and then we'll have to pay them, we are also buying it for 22. So these are reasons that are not acceptable. What is written on the packet has to be taken, okay. So I gave you an example. There may be other products which are charged more. Okay, next is using false weights. That is what I told you. They put stones in the rice that they want to give you, using false weights. Now this weight of the stone is also put in the rice, isn't it? Now if you want 1 kg of rice, imagine there is stones in that. Now the weight of the stone is also counted. So that counts to the 1 kg of rice, using false weights. Okay. Next is creating artificial scarcity. Creating artificial scarcity by hoarding the goods. We'll come to that point, just a second. And carrying black marketing. Okay, now understand this, creating artificial scarcity. That is, they tell you we don't have our products at all. Actually, they have their products. Okay, artificial. What is scarcity? Lack of goods that are there. Now they are making it artificial. It is not really that they don't have goods, but they are making up. They are telling you a reason that they don't have their goods. Okay. By hoarding the goods, how are they creating artificial scarcity? Hoarding is dumping or putting all the goods in one place. Now if this is an area, I have kept all my goods there, my goods are there, but what am I telling my consumers, what am I telling my customers? That the products are not there. But what are they doing? They are giving these products by carrying black marketing, that is illegal means which is not acceptable. You are not supposed to do that, selling it to somebody for extra money, okay, illegal ways of doing it. Now these are certain unethical practices or illegal practices done in order to sell their business or make more profit in a way. Now there are certain, if you are very curious students, there are certain tests that, certain videos that are there on internet, okay, to check adulteration with your products at home, to check turmeric powder, is it real or fake? Just see this, just put adulteration of turmeric powder, you will get an video and try testing it at home. Now the government has introduced public distribution system. Okay, what is public distribution system? That is, they supply goods, okay, for an average rate, for a fair price. That is not excess, not more. Their intention is not to make profit, but for a certain rate. Now for 20 rupees or 30 rupees, they have set their mark and they will give with it. Now these public distribution system is run by the government. Now to maintain the standard of goods, okay, the government has opened an institution. Okay, Bureau of Indian Standards. Now government has opened this institution called as Bureau of Indian Standards. Okay. Now if you buy those packets that are there, check for these marks, ISI and egg mark. Okay, these marks should be there on the products. Now this is done, this ISI and egg mark is done to certify the quality of the product. If the quality of the product is not good, this mark won't be there. And in every packet that you buy, they should have the amount of quantity that is there. How much of quantity is there? Now 500 grams or 1 kg, okay, 100 grams, 200 grams, they should write it. Then what they should write? They should write the date of manufacture. When did they manufacture it? Date of expiry. When the product will get spoiled. Then your MRP. So if there is a, have you seen one box will be there, okay, they write the manufacturing date, expiring date, okay, then the price and the quantity is written, and if there is an ISI mark or egg mark, it will be there. So this is a compulsory thing that whoever is selling their product has to do it. Now when you go to the shop, check these things and buy your products, okay, check the date of manufacture, check when it gets spoiled, check the MRP rate that is there, compare and then buy along with these two marks. These two marks show the quality of the product. So alright students, we have finished the lesson, business and industry. read it once again after we have, now that we have finished, read it and understand it better. Thank you students for listening.